This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Prime. In association with Micromax. Nothing like anything.
This week, RBI dashed the hopes of developers and home buyers across the country by refusing to bring down key interest rates. For those who were banking on a rate cut along with a stable government for real estate markets to recover, they're definitely in for a longer wait. Stock markets have touched an all-time high, but nothing is exciting the property markets. REITs, relaxation in FDI norms, none of those have helped. Real estate markets across key cities in India, as we will show you on the Realty Debate today, continue to be plagued by slow sales velocity and muted real estate prices. Developers still continue to sit on high unsold inventory. On this show, our question, what will it take for property markets to mirror the excitement of stock markets? And where can you find the best deals in realty before all turns around? With me today, Sunil Mantri. Let's welcome him, CMD, Mantri Realty and President, Naredco. Mr. Mantri, thank you very much for joining in. Also, Sandeep Sud, CEO, MumbaiPropertyExchange.com. Sandeep, thank you very much. Zahid Mahmood, Director, Silverline Realty, joining us from Bangalore. Rajesh Dave, President, Chennai Real Estate Agent Association from the Chennai market. So we do have a representation from across the country, and Prasann Agarwal, co-founder PropTiger.com, Vineet Relia, Managing Director, Sare Homes, armed with data, Sameer Jasuja, CEO and founder of Prop Equity as well, whose data is actually quite eye-popping. But first, Mr. Mantri, a reaction from you. You know, RBI has refused to cut rates. They're saying don't expect the rates to come down in a hurry, though the governor is open to cutting down rates even before the next policy, looking at how the key data pans out. Why are developers so hassled with that not happening? I mean, I've seen some extremely strong words coming out from CREDAI and Naredco.
Manisha, basically during the previous meetings with the housing minister, he clearly indicated that home loan should be around 7 to 8%. To happen that, you need to cut down the interest rate constantly so that we can reach to that level. We were having the expectation that at least 0.25, I'm not expecting 0.5, but 0.25 cut will be there. It will give a very good sentiments in the market, a positive sentiments in the market. And secondly, there was a statement from HDFC and other many couple of bankers that they don't mind reducing the rate so that the demand can pick up. Now the industry is facing crisis from various fields. There is no enough liquidity available. RBI is not giving a clear signal whether they want to reduce the interest rate or not. I think buyers are getting confused. There is a huge liquidity issue in real estate as well as many other fields, because I believe the huge money quantum has been diverted to the stock market, and I think substantial liquidity is not available for our sector, which is required to pay off the premium, to commence the construction work. And today, the buyer's mentality is that they want to see the actual construction work happening, and then only they come forward for the booking. Okay. So I think the developers are facing a big triangular problem from all the sides. Not money is being given to them from the banking sector. They are extremely rigid still. They say we don't have enough liquidity, as well as we want to go very cautious on
Fair
real
enough,
estate
Mr.
sector.
Mantri. I got the point. Pardon me, I've really got a bad throat. Blame the pollution, Delhi pollution on it. Vineet Relia, you know, why do we place such a high premium on interest rates for home loans? There are two divided opinions on it. One is that it doesn't really affect the demand. There are other reasons which will probably prevent a buyer from going ahead and finalizing his purchase decision. How critical are interest rates?
See, I think the way we look at it, first of all, I think, yes, there was a large expectation that the interest rates will come down Now, in the long term scheme of things, the interest rates need to drop down heavily in India, because if you're really looking at the kind of growths we are, the entire government machinery is talking about, interest rate needs to come down. But the way we look at it, I think there are some more important measures which need to be taken in, which will affect the demand more. Just by reducing 0.5 basis points, I don't think it's going to really resolve the overall liquidity crunch. Yes, it does make a difference. So the way we look at it, I think there are other issues which are plaguing the industry in terms of the economic.
All right, fair
growth
enough. So
overall
there
in the
are
whole country,
larger
economic
issues
drivers
which need
taking
to be
off.
taken care of. Sameer Jasuja, your view, money is there, definitely. If you've got investors returning to the stock markets which are languishing, why are they not looking at real estate at all?
No, I think on the contrary, I think there's a lot of real estate private equity money that is coming into the country as we speak right now. It's coming in form of structured debt, and they are willing to now lend at much lower rates than what previously developers were borrowing at. So yes, money in the equity market in real estate is not coming in, and that's primarily because not many people have seen exits going forward. I think the bigger challenges on the ground have been in most of the cities, especially in the north, the projects have been oversold in terms of there is huge inventory pile up that has happened because projects were launched one after the other. In certain cities, as I was mentioning in the program earlier, there is more supply that's coming in this year than has come in the last 25 years. That's one reason. The second reason is prices have really gone up through the roof over the last 3-4 years, and the affordability is just not there. The economy hasn't done very good either, and people are insecure about their jobs even now to make these long-term bets on housing, taking a large housing finance and servicing it over 20 years or 15 years.
Okay.
I don't think the interest rate variation of 1% here or there is going to change anything really that much.
What's your view?
So I think there are two ways to kind of look at it. When we look at interest rates, one is, of course, what impact it makes in terms of the EMI that a customer is selling out to buy a property. But at the same time, what it does is basically it introduces more liquidity in terms of helping the economy grow. Okay. And when the growth of the economy happens, that's when people there are more jobs, people get more comfortable in terms of taking long-term bets, as Sameer said. That's where I think the sentiment of actually having an interest rate cut and the resulting impact on the growth of the economy is what basically would be the real trigger in terms of the end user coming into the market.
Okay, and I'm just wondering, Prasanth, first of all, big congratulations on that big investment that you've got from News Corp. I'm just wondering, somewhere sales have to start taking off, because there is a lot of excitement in at least the .com space when it comes to housing. All right, let me also run through some figures and do a sanity check. This is prop equity data of unsold stock. Now, which are the top markets across country which are looking very heavy with supply? Look at Greater Noida, particularly Noida extension is what we are talking about. 55,000 units unsold, a little over that number. In Mumbai region, it's Navi Mumbai Panvel, which has 13,000 plus unsold units. Ghaziabad, back to NCR, Rajnagar extension, almost 13,000 unsold units. Back to MMR, Thane, Virar West, 8,500 plus unsold units. And then you have Gurgaon, Dwarka Expressway, 8,200 unsold units. Now also let's look at the slowest markets when it comes to inventory overhang, which are selling the least. So you pretty much captured the top 5 between NCR, Ghaziabad, let's take that as UP, and MMR. These are the markets which have the maximum unsold inventory or unsold stock. Slowest selling markets, which of course is reflected with inventory overhang, prop equity data shows Hyderabad, Maheshwar Mandal, 249 months. And I've got some very interesting data here. There are 1,700 flats there, only about 7 sell in a month. That's how poor the average has been. Hyderabad, Bandlaguda, 134 months of inventory overhang. Again, 1,750 odd flats, 13 flats sell a month. Ghaziabad, Tronika City, 151 months of inventory overhang. Mumbai, Wadala, 73 months of inventory overhang. And Mulund West, 68 inventory overhang, 68 months. You know, I do have Bangalore data. So I'm going to go to the Bangalore guest next. Kambalgodu, Banashankari and Vidya Ranpura. These are the markets which look extremely slow in Bangalore. Though if you look at the other markets of MMR and NCR, they actually look a little bit better. All right, so Mr. Mahmood, what's happening in your market? How bad is the slowdown?
See, Bangalore, I would disagree with you, Manisha, because you see, we have a lot of movement from the IT sector, and most of our buyers are end users here. You know, unlike other markets where we have people who are investing more to make.
That's the reason, sir, that you've not
investment
featured in the top.
form of,
hold your thought there,
but
Mr.
here
Mahmood.
You have end users here.
Right, but that's the reason why you've not figured in the slowest markets across India. Even then, I have markets and micro markets where your inventory overhang has crossed 50 months. So markets have slowed down, maybe not as much as rest of India.
I agree with you on that, Manisha, but overall, you see, I would say builders are pretty smart here in the Bangalore market, and you know, they have not really gone beyond what they can handle here. Okay. Most of them are building, you know, right kind of products here which are selling in the market, and you know, their focus seems to be more on IT, and IT is still doing reasonably well here. Okay. So I would you know, look at Bangalore because it's not, you know, been a speculative market. That is probably one of the reasons why we've not been hit so badly, Manisha.
All right, so over to Chennai now, and some data from the Chennai market. You've got Oragadam, you also have Tirupurur and Punamalli, all three markets showing fairly stagnant sales. Mr. Dave, Chennai market doesn't have the benefit now of the IT workforce. In fact, it's losing out to Bangalore in a big way. You also have production shutting down of large factories. Is your market distressed in a big way?
Well, I would like to point out certain things like Chennai is not totally dependent on the IT sector. We have a mix of all the brick and mortar industries, as well as the heavy engineering, the telecom and other industries. While having said that, the Oragadam, the Sriperumbudur sector was where the major top Fortune 100 companies had made their home of manufacturing. And of late there have been one or two unfortunate cases where they have had to close shop. But then the whole idea of the Sriperumbudur and Oragadam industrial sector has been that it is giving a lot of potential for other industries to come in. And though at the present there has been a stagnancy in terms of sales, but I'm sure with the government looking at, you know, doing some proactive measures in terms of infrastructure, things should improve maybe in the next year.
Okay. Fair enough. So everybody is agreeing to the fact that the markets have slowed down, whether it's Chennai or Bangalore, though Bangalore seems to be the most protected. In fact, even the data which I'm seeing, Pune seems to be fairly protected so far. So let's go back to the two markets which have seen the maximum distress, which is NCR and MMR. So start with NCR. Prasann, what's happening? I mean, look at the kind of stock which is there in Noida Extension and look at the slowness of sale. Is it scary? You'd think that prices will crack in that market. It's already come down a little bit. New launches are happening at a very modest pace. But do you think that there is room for prices to actually crack further?
No, so when we look at the Noida extension market specifically, I think prices there are pretty reasonable. Currently at about 3,200, 3,500 rupees a square feet. And, you know, given the cost of land and the cost of construction and the fact that, you know, the prices have been stable over the last 2 years, and now with a lot of attractive schemes in terms of payment plans that the developers are offering, they are approximately, you know, translate to about 8 to 10% of discount on the price that I just quoted. So I think it's a very reasonable price for the kind of infrastructure that has been developed there. Of course, it will take some time to, you know, clear the inventory that exists there. But I think, you know, I don't see any price correction happening in that market. I think sales will continue to be stable till we see some revival in terms of interest rate cut and economic revival, where we think that, you know, sales will start picking up.
Okay, Sameer, would you agree with that? Because I know that you quote a number of 1,50,000 on the Noida Expressway, which is supply that they haven't seen in the last 25 years. And after Noida Expressway comes Noida Extension. So what's your own gut feel?
See, micro markets where pricing is between 3 and 4,000 rupees a square foot, I don't see any price dropping over there because like Prasanna pointed out, there's not much room and the land is just going more and more expensive. So I don't think, and cost of construction is also going up. At the same time, other markets where there is just no demand, and more importantly, NCR markets are 50% being bought through investors. Those investors have taken a complete flight and they are coming back into the market and offering distressed sales and going out there and offering properties that they have bought into at lower rates than the prices at which they have bought into.
Okay.
So that is causing this whole mess in terms of pricing, which is really now has got two rates. There is a primary rate and there is a resale under construction rate, and the gap between them is 40 to 45%.
Really?
Yeah.
Good Lord. Sandeep Sad, what's happening in the MMR market? Is that also reflecting similar picture as the NCR market? Resale is happening at a deep discount to frontal sales or primary sales?
Yes, to an extent, we have the same factors here. But I think Mumbai market is smarter by the day. We have a lot of 20/80 schemes. Now it's gone to 5, 75 and 20 as well, so you only pay 5%. So whilst the discount is not so much visible on the front, it's definitely there from the back end by giving out these kind of a scheme. Okay. And I think Mumbai market is more towards the structured schemes going forward, because more financially you have more viability for the home buyer. That's the time he'll come out and buy out, because we have issues of delayed possessions and so on. So the buyer totally feels comfortable with the structured financial scheme, whether a subvention scheme or a 20/80 kind of a thing. So I think Mumbai market would be stable. Of course, you will have slower days, slower weeks, slower months. But I think overall, I think Mumbai market is still pretty much there. The Mumbai story remains there. And with the new government and all the new infrastructure coming up, airport story now coming up, we have just a few weeks for the final allotments of the airport, tender and other infrastructure projects with the new government here. I think Mumbai is pretty strong.
All right, Mumbai is pretty strong, but then sales are happening on schemes. And what are the best schemes in the market? There's 80/20, there's 95/5, there's subvention. There's just so many words floating around. We've got a great panel today. We'll come back and assess those. And of course, are you catching a falling knife in case you buy property right now? Or are there actually great markets that are offering you value which you can buy into? All of that on the Realty Debate in just a moment.